Alright guys, so have you ever just been sat there, have you ever just thought, hey, vegans must have it hard? I mean, surely, come on, what do they eat? And if they do eat anything, then, how do they source their food? Yeah, some good questions. So why don't we find out together? So today's episode is, how do you become a vegan? Alright guys, so veganism is both the practice of refraining from the use of animal products, particularly in your diet. And the diet or the philosophy that they follow is known as veganism, which is pronounced vegan. So distinctions are sometimes made between several categories of veganism. Now, I've got three categories for you. I think there is a lot more. However, I could not find them anywhere, but to my knowledge, these are the three that I do know. So there is a dietary vegan or a strict vegan. Well, people say it's a strict vegetarian. So a dietary vegan will refrain from using animal products, not only like eggs, but stuff such as dairy products as well, and other animal-deprived foods. Then we move into an ethical vegan, which is applied to those who basically not only follow the vegan diet, so that's not want to eat animal products, but they also take it into their everyday lives. So that's things such as soaps that could have came from animals, anything at all, anything soaps, powders, anything that could have came from an animal or an animal has been used in the process of making. They refrain from having it all. So things such as goose fat, for example, they'll refrain from using that. Then finally we move on to the last one that I do know, which is an environmental vegan, which refers to a vegan they'll avoid animal products that have been basically if the animal's been harvested or if it's been used in industrial farming of animals, because they see it as environmentally damaging and unsustainable. So that's vegetarianism. Not vegetarianism, what am I about? Veganism, and that's also three different types of vegan. Now obviously the reasons you'd want to be a vegan, again, like the vegetarian video, it's going to be people who necessarily don't like the fact of animals being killed or slaughtered for us to live and survive. Not only that, it could be say your parents. Your parents could be vegans, and then therefore it gets passed down to you. And also there is cost of some foods these days, and there's all these horse meat scandals and everything like that. So you don't quite know what's in your meat either. I mean, people were saying that McDonald's were putting all sorts in their burgers and in their foods, and I think you get the idea. So that's another reason why people do it. So now we move down to like veganism as a whole. So one question that a lot of people ask is, where do you get your protein from if you're a vegan? Now, just like the vegetarian video, if you're not eating meat is primarily going to give you your fats and your proteins, but you can still get fats from other things if you don't have meat, however. But where do you get your protein sources from if you are a vegan? Now, the stereotypical view of somebody who is a vegan is skinny, mostly like dread-headed, stuff like that. Sort of like a hippie type of thing. That's how they stereotypicalize people who are a vegan. So not only that, people think you're not eating much, you're not going to get your proteins, you're not going to get anything. They basically see them as it's not being bulky or even fit and healthy, whereas I'm about to prove that wrong. Because did you know, for example, there is vegan athletes? Yes, there's athletes that are actually vegan. So athletes like Brendan Brazier, Rich Roll, and Jimmy Siltko are changing the negative stereotypes, which is excellent. That's really, really good, because it promotes people and it shows people that you can, live a normal, healthy life if that's what you want to do on this diet. If there's athletes doing it, then 9 times out of 10 anyone can do it, as long as they've got their head in the right place and they're doing it for the right reasons. So obviously, proven that plant-based proteins can not only build muscle protein, and can not only keep you being healthy enough to do things such as running, swimming, cycling, dancing, or even pumping the iron. No flesh eating necessary, so that's good. So how do you get your protein as a vegan? So now I've got 5 sources of proteins to give you a bit of a heads up, and so you understand exactly where you're going to get these proteins from. So we start off with your veggies. Now, good old greens will pack quite a bit of protein. 1 cup of cooked spinach has about 7 grams of protein in. So 1 cup can vary, depends on how big your cup is or how big your serving size is. But to get 7 grams of protein per cup, I think that's probably between 15 to 30 grams of protein. Now, that's just an opinion, that's just my guess. I'm not saying that's what it is. So yeah, there's that. There's also things such as French beans, which has about 13 grams of protein in. 2 cups of kale has 5 grams of protein in. 1 cup of boiled peas has 9 grams. I think you sort of get the idea a little bit with your veggies. Now let's go into non-dairy milk. So soy milk, for example. 1 cup of soy milk or almond milk can pack between 7 to 9 kilograms, 7 to 9 grams of protein. Eat some fortified cereals, for example, and you've got a totally vegan-friendly breakfast. Can't go wrong with that. You've got to start the day off well, so you might as well start it off with a good vegan-friendly breakfast to get you set up for the day. And because it's got the protein in as well, it's going to set you up for longer than just having the carbohydrates in. You're laughing. So number 3 is nut butter. Now this is something that I've never really came across before, but if you eat up your protein butter, if you eat up your peanut butter, almond butter, or even cashew butter, a couple of tablespoons of any of these will give you at least 8 grams of protein. Now, bearing in mind there is other factors to take into consideration. There's things such as fats, there's salt as well to take into consideration. However, I'm focusing on protein with this bit because people want to know where you get your proteins from. So I'm giving you some examples. So that's number 3. Number 4, again, quinoa. Quinoa again. Now I did mention it in the vegetarian video, so if it's vegan and vegetarian friendly, that's even better. So if you're one of them strict vegetarians, then quinoa is even better. So it's also gluten free as well, which if you're gluten intolerant and you want to be a vegan, then you've got at least one protein source. Now quinoa, again I've mentioned it before, but I'll give it another mention. Quinoa is God's gift to vegans, they reckon, and it's versatile, delicious, and delivers at least 9 grams of protein per cup. So that's got to be a super protein food then, hasn't it? So finally we move on to tofu. Now I've heard of tofu sort of a few times. I've heard it mentioned in films. I think I've even seen it mentioned on The Sims before, but I've never really gotten around to what it actually is. I've never tasted it, and I've never gone looking in the shops for it. But tofu, I do sort of understand, that it's a vegan friendly meal now. Now 4 ounces of tofu will get you about 9 grams of protein, and it's only a couple of quid as well. It's only a few pound, or if you're in America, it's only a couple of dollars. So it's a cheap vegan's best friend. Let's put it that way. So there you go. There's at least 5 sources of protein you can get on a non-meat diet, on a vegan diet. Now let's get into the pros and cons of this diet, because it can't all be one way and it can't all be the other. So I want to put up a good fight for it and against it, simply because it's, in my opinion, I'm just dedicated to being a meat eater, but other people want to know these things. So if you want to become a vegetarian, keep saying vegetarian. If you want to become a vegan, obviously I want to give you some reasons why, to support that, to help you through that. Also, if you're thinking about, if you're still on the fence, I want to give you a helping hand as well. Or if you just want to understand what the diet's about, you might have a friend that's a vegan, you want to understand it better, then again, I'll give you pros and cons for it. So to start with, we've got an improved health potential. So vegan diets are cholesterol free, if not very, very low cholesterol. They're also low in saturated fat as well. And if you're at risk of chronic diseases such as heart diseases or even some cancers, this could be an ideal diet for you, because it's going to help to bring your cholesterol down, and it's also going to help to bring your saturated fat, and I imagine salt as well, if it's going to help to reduce things such as a stroke and chronic diseases. So again, there's a good reason to do it. There's a good reason to go for it. Also an increase in antioxidants as well. So a vegan diet is full of antioxidants, which if you didn't already understand what an antioxidant is, I've got a video on antioxidants. But if you've got a lot of vegetables in your diet, you've got a lot of fruit, you're going to be getting all the vitamins in, and you're going to be getting all the antioxidants that your body needs as well, to fight off things such as free radicals and bad cells. So an antioxidant is important because they have the ability to protect your cells from free radicals caused by a number of things, including pollutants such as the air. So if you live near a power plant and there's loads of chemicals and all sorts getting pumped into the air, pollution, it's going to help you. It's going to help your body filter all them out and protect your body against them. Also, things in the air such as tobacco smoke from cigarettes and radiation as well. So yeah, that's just something to look for. Also, I will have about antioxidants. I'll have that in the description as well, because that's obviously, in case you want to know. So not only that, it's a good lifestyle choice. Now, many people choose to adopt the vegan diet because they might have animal pets. Some people have, say, cows as pets, or they have obscure things as pets that we would never think of in a million years. They might have pet chickens, or they might have a pet pig. They might have a micro pig. So that's one thing that's going to put you off wanting to eat one if you've got one as a pet, because you're giving it hugs and you kisses, and you're talking to it like it's a bairn as well. You're talking to it like it's a baby. So that becomes part of your family. So if you're doing that with the pig or whatever it may be, maybe you've got a buffalo as a pet, then obviously you're going to want to refrain from eating them, simply because they're in your life all the time. So many people, they decide to not want to do that, and they decide, right, okay, I'm going to go for a healthier lifestyle as well. I'm going to get more vegetables in, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So a lifestyle choice, which is a good reason to do it. Now that I've mentioned all the pros and bigging up this side of the fight, let's look at some cons and some negatives towards this diet. So it's another reason to look at food labels, because if we weren't already looking at the traffic light system, or we weren't already looking for how many carbohydrates is in this, how much fat's in that, how many proteins in this, and calories and everything, your head, just literally in a supermarket, your head will be spinning around, and you'll have a headache coming out. So you're buying some paracetamol on the way out, and you'll be reading the back of that to see how many you need. So you know, if we look at this in a negative light, you've got to look at everything to make sure it's vegetarian and vegan friendly. You know, so you're going to be looking at that. Oh, not vegan friendly, I can't have that. Now, if you go to specialised shops that help with vegan food, obviously everything is for a vegan, so it makes things a lot easier. So it's just your choice. You know, you choose what flavour you want. That's it. It's all good. But finding these shops aren't as easy as it may appear, especially in some places. They're not very listed. You know, they're not very known. Also, it's sticking you to a strict diet, because you can't eat no meat whatsoever, no meat at all. So that's going to change the game when it comes to such as a Sunday's dinner. Excuse me. Because when you have a Sunday's dinner, you're not going to be able to have that chicken or turkey or whatever you have on your Sunday's dinner. So there's that. There's Christmas dinner as well. That's going to be different as well, because you're probably most likely going to have a tofu Christmas dinner, or you're going to have a lot of things that are different, because, you know, not all Yorkshire puddings vegan friendly. You know, stuff like that. There's things that you've got to take into consideration, and especially when you come to eating out somewhere. So if you want to go to a restaurant and there's no vegan section, because believe it or not, there is a lot of places that don't have a vegetarian or a vegan section. A lot of them are specialised restaurant, so a vegetarian restaurant or a vegan restaurant, and these can be quite expensive, if not really, really rare to find. And if you do find one, like I say, it's expensive. And, you know, it's something that it's a big lifestyle change. And now moving on to potential vitamin and mineral loss. Now, these vegan sources for most nutrients, it's not the most nutritious diet in the world in terms of giving you everything your body would need. However, if you think, for example, you're not getting enough iron or vitamin D in your diet, and it's going to be hard to get it back in your diet. If you don't have things such as iron in your diet, then you're going to feel, you know, you're going to get anemia, which is going to make you tired all the time and very weak, and you're not going to feel the best. You're not going to feel the best in the world, because you're going to feel like a bit depressed and a bit down. And you're going to be fatigued as well, because you've got this anemic feeling in your body. And not only that, there's vitamin D, because you've got a lack of protein, and vitamin D is primarily in proteins. So again, you're losing out on that. Now, people think that iron is typically, you know, they think meat, but also you can get it in things such as beans. You know, you can get it in baked beans, and I'm pretty sure they are vegan friendly baked beans, tiny baked beans. Now, not all beans, I don't know if they're all vegan friendly, but I know a lot of them are vegetarian friendly. But yeah, you're going to miss out on a lot of, you know, things like that you need to think of, and especially vitamin C and vitamin B12. However, if you still want to go with the diet, you can always go and see a GP or a dietitian, or even go into a shop and pick up some supplements for the things that you're going to be missing in your diet, so things such as vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B12, you know, things that would normally be in animal foods that you're going to be missing out on. You can also pick them up in, say, Boots, the chemist, or whatever pharmacy is near you. Now, finally moving on to a lack of protein. And I'm not going to drag on that too much, but you're going to get a lack of protein, because it's going to be hard to find. Because you can't eat things such as meats or eggs or anything. You can't even have dairy, because it comes from an animal. So therefore, you are very restricted. But with them at least five sources of vegan-friendly meals for protein, you could go a long way. And obviously, do your research as well, and that will help you out. But finally, that's a good segue into my next part. If we look at a couple of tips for beginners and newcomers, or for people who are already a vegan but they want to recap on things, So first of all, you need to take it slow. So if you've eaten meat all your life, and you love going to McDonald's, or you find it hard not to have meat throughout the day or throughout your week, then you need, if you really want to go through with this, you need to take it slow. So you need to do it one meal at a time, or one day at a time, and go from there. Because obviously it's not just going to happen overnight. You need to, or your body needs to adjust to it as well, because if it's not getting the things that it's always had before, it's going to it could struggle. You might get a negative effect. So if you take it slow, like I say, do it one meal a day. Take that sort of thing out the diet, or include one more thing that's vegan friendly. Then you're going to be on your way to success. Now it's small changes, things such as switching out, your dairy milk with soy milk or almond milk, or swapping that butter, that flora butter or whatever butter you have, replacing that with that nut butter or peanut butter, little things like that. And then you keep going and going until you get into a point where you're on the home stretch and you've got nothing to worry about. So there's that as well, and then there's doing it right as well. So make sure you don't miss out on essential nutrients. So again, read up, learn a couple of things, read some books, read some articles, because you never know. And if you're really interested in this, and say one of your best friends is a vegan, they're trying the diet, if you want to try it as well, do it together. There's no reason why you shouldn't. Friends stick together. And it's hard to sort of take out the junk food. Again, it's like the vegetarian diet as well. It's taking out junk food as well, because a lot of junk food can be like vegetarian friendly or vegan friendly. Certain packets of crisps, for example, certain chips you can get as well. So you need to think of that as well, because if you're eating fried, French fries from McDonald's all the time, or anything like that, it's gonna add up, because it's mostly carbs and fat. And if you're not getting protein, you see where I'm going with that. So just do it right, and research a little bit as well. And I'm coming into that actually. And research, look at some articles, books. Also, you could ask for help. Where can I buy vegan chocolate? How do I make cakes without eggs? I don't know how to speak to my family about being a vegan, or I just don't know how to talk to my friends about it. I don't know how to open up about being a vegan in case I get laughed at, or in case people think that I'm this or I'm that. Because it's easy for people to judge, and it's easy for people to just jump on this bandwagon and be like, oh well, how are you going to do this diet? You're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. It's too easy to do it. But if somebody wants to do it and they've got it in their mind that they really want to do it, the best thing you do is either support them or just say, hey, I'm not into it. Because putting them down about it isn't going to help. I mean, it's their decision at the end of the day. But if you are looking to get help about it, I'm going to leave a link in the description for like a vegan website, just basically to get you up to speed. Also, there's things on Twitter. You could use social media. You can go on Facebook, look at vegan channels where people talk to each other in a group, and share different meal ideas, recipes, everything, and do things like that. I imagine there's even little forums and stuff as well where you can get emailed about help and support. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. And if you found it entertaining, you found it nice, you found it something different than people playing on Call of Duty, or people raving about new Call of Duty coming out, or Grand Theft Auto multiplayer, then that's fine. It's something different. It's something that's in everyday life, and it's something that can make an impact in your life. So with that all said and out of the way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.